I mean, you know that we're under his skin because he's tweeting about us at 2 a.m. in the morning. I mean, you know we're under the skin because you saw what he did at the rally on Saturday. I mean, when he goes off the teleprompter, he's unhinged. He's totally unhinged. You know, to mock my husband. Michael and I can handle that. When you're in politics, it's, you know, public as anything can happen. But you mock one member of the military, you mock all members of the military. And to go and do it the way he did, he doesn't understand what that kind of sacrifice is. He doesn't understand what it means to wear the uniform. He doesn't understand because this is a pattern that he continues to do, whether he calls those that have lost their lives in the military, whether he calls them losers or suckers, or whether he's at Arlington National Cemetery saying, you know, what was in it for them. He's never known what that's like. But to go and say something like that, you insulted every member of the military, you insulted every veteran, but you insulted every military family. The part that bothers me now is, look at what else he said at the rally. He says that he's not going to support our NATO allies if they don't pull their weight. Now, he didn't just stop there. He then turned around and said he would encourage Putin to invade them. These are countries that stood by us after 9/11. And you're going to side with a thug who 500,000 people have died or been wounded because of Putin and his invasion of Ukraine. You're going to side with a dictator who kills his opponents. You're going to side with someone who's arrested Evan Gersovich just for doing his job of journalism. You're going to side with that over our allies? That's dangerous. If you don't know the value of our men and women in uniform, if you don't know the sacrifice that they go through, why should I, as a military spouse and all our military families, trust you to know you're going to keep them out of harm's way? If you are saying you're going to side with Putin, that I know is going to cause a war, not stop a war, why would any military family feel like you could go and keep our men and women protected? Because you can. This is about the security, national security of Americans. It's about the safety of our men and women in the military, and it's about having their backs. And you need a commander-in-chief that's going to have their backs. And I don't know what that rant was that he had. And it's not even personal about me or Michael. It's about how do you look at the military? And then at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're going to go say, he should come home and save his wife? Okay, so you don't realize when you take a tour, there's no just coming home. I mean, the reality is he's never been anywhere near a military uniform. He's never had to sleep on the ground. He's never known how to sacrifice. And the most harm he's ever possibly had is getting hit by a golf ball when he's sitting in a golf cart. That's the truth. If you are going to hit our military, you are not qualified to be president, period. Because anybody that will mock our military, anybody that will go and put them in harm's way by saying you're going to side with Russia, you are not protecting our men and women in the military. You've got a Donald Trump who's unhinged, and he's more unhinged than he ever was. And why are we settling for that when the country is in disarray and the world is on fire? I was with you. I voted for him. But look at what he's now saying. Not only is he saying he's going to side with Putin, which could hurt our military and start a war, he wants to raise taxes on every American family by putting tariffs on all goods that come in, from strollers to appliances. It's going to cost every American family $2,800. He tried to raise the gas tax 25 cents per gallon in 2018. He'll do it again. He wants to cut Social Security by 24% in 10 years. That's a fact. He put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years that our kids are never going to forgive him for. We need to start looking at the facts. What's he really saying he's going to do? And now he takes $50 million of his campaign contributions and puts it towards personal court cases for his legal fees. Look at last week. He lost the case on immunity. He's now going to be Citizen Trump. And he says he's going to spend more time in a courtroom than he will be on the campaign trail. Problem number one. Republicans lost the bill on the border. They lost the bill on Israel. The RNC chair lost her job. His fingers were in all of that. Everything he touches is chaos. We want someone who's going to go and fight for us and work for us with no drama, no vendettas. It's not all about, that person, because it continues to be about their egos. That I'm doing this because I don't want my kids to live like this. I don't want your kids to live like this. When you do something for the right reasons, the last thing you're worried about is your political career. That's not why I'm doing this. You don't take on a bully and think of your political career. You take on a bully because you don't want your kids to grow up in a country that's this divided. You take on a bully because you don't want any other American families to feel the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the anger, the division that has taken over our country. You don't take on a bully unless you saw the fall of Afghanistan. You saw what happened with inflation. You see that our kids are only 31% of 8th graders are proficient in reading. That's why you go and take on a bully, is because you know that I am not going to sleep at night knowing I didn't do everything I possibly could to save this country. I am running because, yes, while I thought he was the right president at the right time then, I do not think he's the right president at the right time now. That's why I'm running. That's why I've defeated a dozen of them, is because I know what the American people want. They want to be heard. They've been through a lot. They don't see enough money in their wallets. They don't see their kids reading. They see a border that's out of control, that one person could cause a 9/11 moment. They don't want their military members to go to war. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing this because we have to do something. We can't just sit back and let it happen. I'm doing this because we have a country to save. I'm not doing this for my political career. I'm not doing this for any sort of gig. I'm doing this because our country deserves better. And I'm not going to stop fighting until I know I've done everything I can to save her. Well, I think my message has broken through, because what we're seeing is not only are we getting Republicans, we're getting independents, we're getting Reagan Democrats, the people who want the anger to stop, the people who want the division to stop, and the people who want us to stop having 80-year-old candidates and start getting someone who can run 8 years and solve the problems and get us solutions. That's what they want. I mean, look, you have to do whatever it takes to save our country. That's the way I look at it. And even if it means, taking on, the biggest giant there is, I've always been an underdog. It's all I know how to do. And it's what I'm good at, is just going and trying to make a difference, going to try and make sure that we do what we need to do.